So your screen may show you a message saying you're being recorded, so you can get rid of that. And I'd like to start with reports. We're going to go from the president all the way down to the banquet, and then we'll end up with instruction. We'll go through the weekly bulletin. We'll go through instructional videos. So I hope everybody is ready to go. And Matt Starr, are you on?
Yes, I am.
There you go.
Good evening, everybody. I actually have some really good news to share with everybody. At about 6:50 this evening, I received an email from the CHSSO, which is the committee which sets fees for officials in the San Diego section. I met with two members of the committee about 2.5 weeks ago and gave them our initial, the association's initial proposal for what we were requesting for fees for the next 2 years. We didn't get everything we asked for, but I think we've definitely taken a stride in the right direction. There's still some work to do that the board's going to have to meet about and discuss, but I'd just like to share with you guys what's being proposed. So on varsity, the CHSSO has proposed a $52 raise for varsity games, which would bring us to $141 for the referee and $140 for the rest of the crew. That would be year one, 24-25. And for the following year, 25-26, they're proposing a $5 raise in each category to $146 and $145. So that's great news. That puts us right in line with Southern Section, and technically it puts us $1 above what Southern Section's at. So that's awesome. With JV fees, they proposed a $15 increase. In year one, they're proposing a $92 for both the referee and the other crew members. And in year two, $95 for the referee and other crew members. The reason why I think we can maybe get a little bit more on the JV fees, and that's what I'd like to talk about with the board. But right now we're getting paid $90 for a varsity game. And next year we'll be making more, if at worst case scenario, we'll be making more for a JV and freshman game than what we're making for a varsity game right now. Where we're going to need to make some significant headway is in the girls flag football. They proposed $70 for a varsity game and $60 for a girls JV flag game. Obviously, we're not going to accept less than what we're already making now. So this is, I'll have to have a meeting with the board to discuss all these fees and talk about strategy on where to go from here. But as I said, I think that this is a pretty good step in the right direction. CIF has heard us, and we're going where we want to be. So in the varsity category, we're the highest paid as far as I know in the state, and in JV we're going to be in the upper middle. So that's great progress, and I'm real happy with where we're at. Other than that, hey guys, it's been a fun season as we enter into league play. Just remember, to take a moment, take it in and enjoy it, because the season goes fast, and just remember the good times and have fun out there. All right. That's all I got. Thank you.
Zapolsky, you're up.
I'll just be as quick as the boss was. Two things to remind everybody. One, and if you read the bull, we still have openings for those people who want to be, who would think about running for the board. You have till October 1st to let Robin House know. So please, if you're interested, please let Robin know of that. And for everyone, this year's primary and final election will be held electronically, similar to what we did last year. The time frame will be a little bit longer. It won't be 2 days. It'll probably be 4 days. So if you have emails that are changing or not working real well, make sure you've updated your email in Arbiter within this week, so that when Tom gives me the list, I have the right email addresses for you to send your ballot, for me to send your ballot to. That's all I got. I'm done, Steve.
Did the board select officers for next year?
There'll be who? What do you mean? The appointed officers?
Yeah.
Oh, the appointed officers, we had a really full schedule, full slate this year, and all 4 guys are coming back. So you're stuck with me, Steve, Tom and Terry for another year. So you're stuck with us. Other than that, have a great afternoon.
Just want to know so I can adjust my calendar backwards. Book everything that I can't attend now. Terry, are you on? Treasurer? Terry Thompson.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, guys, for me, approaching the end of the year, we just got a few bills left to pay. Again, I want to plead for everybody to get us some donations. Every little bit helps, so we won't turn down any donations. So get with your companies, your bosses, your coworkers, and let's get some donations in, and hopefully it'll keep us from having to raise the dues with our new fee schedule. That's it. Thanks, Steve.
You bet. Okay, Tom, the signing.
I just want to just thank you everybody for your patience with it's this year has been a mess with girls' schedules not coming in till a week before the season started and adding games, deleting games. I just got 3 more girls' flag games to add for next week. So it's been a mess, but you've all been troopers dealing with it. I know the assignments are not coming out 3 weeks ahead like they should be, but that was we had to wait on CIF to move games to Saturdays and Thursdays. I was not getting any headway with CIF. The CIF, I mean, with the schools, CIF commissioners obviously wield a large hammer, and I just got weeks 10 and 11 in today, and we're ready to go. Sadly, the Warner has been playing with like 10 kids all year. He's got some injuries, and after practice yesterday, 2 kids quit. So they have now canceled the rest of their season. So if you got a email today saying you've been removed from a game, that's why. It was probably Warner. And if you haven't made a trip out there yet this year, you won't have to. The girls' flag has actually been fun. I have not heard of anybody having any real problems with it. Everybody's enjoying it. All of the coaches have been wonderful. The ADs that I know already have been great. The ADs of the 5 schools that don't play tackle football have been wonderful. It's been a very fun year. Just as a heads up, next week I'm going to send out an email to have you send me a list of any problems you have. So when Steve and I meet with the Flag Football Advisory Committee, we can see if we can hammer things out for next year so it's not such a mess.
Hey,
Lastly,
Tom, real quick, Scott Carroll. When are you meeting with them?
I don't know. It's in early November sometime.
Okay, great. Because I have a list of people that have been coming to me with some questions and issues, and
I'm
blah, blah.
sure there are.
So I have a list of
Okay,
things
good.
that we need to get clarified. And I'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay. And then finally, if you could, we got 9 weeks assigned. We get 2 more weeks. It is rivalry time. It's league game time. If you can open any blocks for the last 2 Thursdays and Fridays, that would be awesome. It'd be a chance to have one last chance to work with your crew. Again, work big rivalries in the big games. So if you can open anything up and be available, that would be awesome. Other than that, I think that's it.
Okay. Youth assigners. Brad, Bob. Let's start with Bob.
Yeah, so we're still struggling to make September 30 work. If anybody can pop open a few hours, we do have the games covered as of this minute, but there's nobody in the bullpen. So if somebody comes up with a broken toe or other reasons to cancel a game, we're kind of out of beer. So if you can open a few hours here and there, that would be quite helpful. We are running over 70 all-day blocks per week. Many of those blocks are absolutely legitimate, but there are a number that are just people taking weekends off. And as a result, we are struggling to meet our commitments for youth football. So see if we can, in the month of October, see if we can make a few more family plans or plans for Sunday, and leave as much open as your Saturday as we get through this season, and hopefully we'll have more officials on the hook next year. That's all. And then evaluations. If you owe us evaluations, we did get several hundred of them today, but we still are missing an incredible number of people that have not started their evaluations yet. Steve, you got something on that?
Yeah, those crew chiefs that have not put it in, I know our crew chief went through a whole process of self-evaluation mid-season, and I heard today that it hasn't put it in yet. It's all ready to go, it just hasn't been put in. So we'll be contacting individually and letting you know it's time for you to complete your evaluations. And then from there, we'll move down to sub-varsity, and because if you're a freshman referee, you've got to turn in that evaluation. And those are critical because the last one I did were 2 brand new officials, and I was able to give them some feedback not only after the game and on the field with the help of the other official, the veteran official that was on the game with me. We were able to give them a bunch of information, but then we were able to give them some ratings and feedback. It's really important. And then obviously down to the youth levels. We will be following up, right, Bob?
Yes, sir.
Brad, are you on?
Yes, I am. As Bob knows, we just got emails from Pop Warner that they've made a bunch of changes. So I'm trying to work my way through those. So everyone just keep as flexible as possible. We have one new conference commissioner that's trying to figure this all out, but between that and national, they change things quite often. So be patient with us, and we're trying to get it out the best we can.
Okay. Thanks, you
That's
guys.
it.
Anybody want to be an assigner? You're crazy. Absolutely nuts.
It's fun.
Well, Tom has run into, you guys don't know this, but Tom has run into probably 10 or so items in Arbiter that just popped up as problems. Never were problems before, and now all of a sudden something happened in Arbiter and it's doing weird things and giving access to schools to do weird things. And then all of a sudden charging one athletic director with all of the girls' fees for flag football in the entire county. So
And if I may interrupt, if you get a flag game where the fee is 0, don't panic. I know about it. Just let me know. I'll fix it. It's something that's been happening all season. I don't know why. I check it before I publish. Everything has a fee on it. And when it goes out between me pushing the button and you getting it, the fee disappears. So if you get that, just send me an email. And like you said, Madison was charged with 249 flag games, and Rick was not happy. But I
That's
fixed it.
payback.
it wasn't our fault. So,
No.
okay. Do look down all of your game. You can look on your schedule in Arbiter, and on the right-hand side, the only zeros on the right-hand side should be for cancellations. If there's a 0 for a flag or any other game, God forbid, let Tom know. Okay, Scott, more on girls flag football.
Yeah, more on, that's right. That's right. So as Tom said, it's been somewhat of a fun season. There's been a couple of little minor hiccups. As you just heard, over 250 games are on the schedule. We've had 102 different officials work those games. Some have worked 1 or 2 games. Some have worked up to 17 of these games. So thank you very much for everybody that is putting in and working that. As I've said, if you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to help as much as I can. The biggest questions we've had so far as working girls flag games is uniform. And I think that there's been 2 different notifications that have gone out, so there should be no confusion. We're working those as a high school varsity game for this year. So that means our pants and shirts and, standard high school uniform for all of our flag games. The other question, the big question that's been asked is definition between a rush and a blitz. right? A rush being one player, a blitz being two, and they have to cross the line and they have to start at 7 yards. If there's more than two, it's illegal. If they run up to the line and stop and don't cross the line of scrimmage, then it's not a blitz or a rush. And if they start at 6.5 and they don't go across, it's not a flag. So just for clarification there. We've also had a slight change in our mechanics, and we're going to clarify that a little bit more next year. But what we're recommending now is a crew of 3 that works a girls' game. Is that you have the referee in the offensive backfield, a head linesman that is on the line and owns the line of scrimmage, and then a rush line official that is 7 yards from the line of scrimmage, establishing that rush line of 7 yards, and players need to be behind that line at the snap. It's a slight change from our initial mechanics. All the feedback that I've been getting is that it's good. It works very well. Just keep in mind that the head linesman needs to stick with the line a little bit longer because of the rush. And then the third thing that's been asked a lot is, what is a run? There is a no run zone in girls flag, 5 yards from the line to gain or the goal line. A run is any handoff behind. So the quarterback is the one who receives the snap, hands the ball off. If they pitch it forward, it's a run. If they pitch it forward, it is a pass. So it is a pass, even if it is received behind the line of scrimmage, it is a forward pass. Anything lateral, anything back is a run. Just think of it this way. If you have a forward pitch and it lands on the ground, it's an incomplete pass. Go back to the line of scrimmage. If you pitch it back, or if the players pitch it back or lateral, it's on the ground, it's dead at that spot. Easy way to distinguish between the two and to communicate to the coaches. We're about 72, 73% done with the season, so please keep it up. Please keep all those comments and questions coming. Let me know so I've been compiling both mechanics and rules clarification so I can get it to Tom and to Steve, and we can work with CIF to get these cleared up. If there's any major issues from communication, again, please let me know. I'm trying to compile everything. I've only heard of one issue week 1 that kind of went a little sideways, but by week 2 it was all cleared up, and coaches and players have been very, very helpful. Of the games that I played, I will tell you that it is the most polite football that I've ever seen. Where I've got every game that I've worked, both teams come up afterwards, the players come up afterwards and thank us for being there. They'll run and get the ball with no question, and it's really is. It's not the football we're used to, but it is a good time, and personally I like supporting it. So hopefully you have the same thoughts, and we'll go from there.
Scott, I will have an opportunity to meet with the state commissioner in the second week of October. We'll be doing the state championship selection for the high school football tackle championships. But at that point in time, I'll have an opportunity to talk to them about their plans. Originally, they were thinking of having, and I think they still are, of having someone other than Steve Coover at the state level who would be the girls' rules interpreter. And that would be, and I would support that. I think right now they're using a young lady out of
Marianne.
Yeah. And as much as she's really knowledgeable about it, she doesn't realize what happens if you put 3 rule books out in a month, what that can do. So
and when there's gaps between one of the things, the feedback, just feedback for everybody, just real quick, so if you don't mind.
No.
When there is a gap or there's something in the girls book that doesn't exist, everybody's falling back to tackle, right? Which makes perfect sense. But if you're going to put a rules book out, you got to cover those things. So that's my feedback there.
Yeah, so I'll talk with them, and then where we're going to need to be challenged in the future, not this year but next year, is they'll have a whole off season to dream up new plays. And if you haven't experienced the quadruple reverse yet, you haven't had Classical Academy girls flag football, because they've got a quadruple reverse behind the line of scrimmage that is either a run or a pass. And they're going to come up with some new widgets and designs and trickery that actually it was David Hardage who was saying, well, they don't have all of the tricks and gimmicks yet put in that they eventually will learn about and start putting in. Second is they're going to get more challenging with flag guarding. They're just beginning to start to realize what they can do and how they can move to maneuver themselves away from a potential flag puller. And some of it is legal and some of it is not so legal. And another one observation is I think we have to be very careful that we're looking at the ball when the flag is pulled. Progress is the position of the ball when the flag is pulled. So in some cases, the flag is in advance of the body or of the flag, and it's not where the flag was pulled necessarily. So I think some of our spots are interesting as they, are going to be in a new game like that. But I too have found it really fun, really enjoyable, and the guys that are working it have a good attitude about it. All right, let's move on to Mike Downing, the San Diego Youth Fund. Awesome.
Thanks, Steve. Our 2 events are coming up here pretty quickly. So we do Game Check Weekend, and we ask our crew chiefs to get involved and organize their crews and put together kind of a crew donation. But if you are on a crew and your crew chief is not going to organize for a crew donation to our fund, then we accept from any individual, whether on a crew, not on a crew, first year, anybody who's in our association, please take a look at our website. There's 2 ways to get there, sdyff.org or sdyouthfootballfund.org. Both of those will get you to the same exact site. That tells you out there what we do with the money that we get from all of our officials, and also is the spot that you would go to make an online donation. So it's pretty evident once you get on the site where you go to make a donation. So again, if you're on a crew and your crew chief has organized something, coordinate through them. If your crew chief is not, or if you are not on a crew, we really hope we can get donations from almost everybody, regardless of what the dollar amount is. The weekend that we're looking to culminate all of this is October 19th through the 21st. My guess is a lot of crew members by that point will have met their 9 games that they need for the $250 extra stipend. I don't know if we'll get it by then, but
it's a great idea.
That would be a good place.
That's a great idea.
That would be a good place to think about donating part of that or all of that. We're asking for anything, but that's kind of like newfound money that we weren't going to get, that I think probably every crew is going to end up getting. So that's one way to come up with some money. But a Pop Warner game, $70, if you can do that, that's great too. So it really is whatever you can afford, but everybody's welcome and you can do it all online. Or of course you can see myself or Mike Gunzelman at a meeting. We can take care of it and get it into the fund for you. So again, that's October 19th to 21. And then the golf tournament is associated with the banquet. I know Bob is going to be talking about the banquet here in a second, but the golf tournament registration is open. Same website. So you can register for the golf tournament. And if you are a single, if you've got 4 guys, 4 people that want to play together, they don't have to be officials. So if you got a couple of buddies and you got 2 crew members, you guys want to play, anybody can play in our tournament. And the fees, the dates, the shotgun start, all are noted on the on our website, but it's just prior to the banquet on November 1st, and then we're done in time for the banquet. We do our little raffle, and then we go into the banquet from there. So it's a great day. It's a lot of fun. The golf tournament is fun. It's at Admiral Baker, so we're not traveling anymore between the golf course and the banquet. When we're done, we meet, give out our prizes, and we go right to the banquet. So if you want to play and you don't have anybody else to play with, put your name in. We'll pair you up. Ed Blick is going to help us again this year, coordinate all the foursomes. But Ed's info is either in Arbiter if you want to get all of them direct, Again, you can get a hold of me direct, but all the info and the registration is online for that as well. So those are our only 2 events. And if you go on our webpage, you'll see all the stuff we do with that, which is a lot. So we're hoping that everybody can help support us again and, get us to our goal of what we need to fundraise. So I appreciate all your help in the past, and let's keep doing it.
And we're already starting to get a nice, healthy list of team nominations for sportsmanship awards, which again are supported by the donations to the Youth Fund. Coronado, Kearney, UC, Santa Fe Christian's got a couple of crews that have already nominated them: El Camino, Mount Carmel, San Pasqual, Rancho Bernardo, Torrey Pines. Nobody from Grossmont or Metro yet. So think about those that you've seen that were impressive and met the criteria of good sportsmanship from coaches, players, etc.
Steve?
Yes, Scott.
Just real quick, are we considering doing the same thing with girls flag? Maybe something a little bit less, but doing something with girls the same vein?
They're all good sports.
They are. They are. It's going to be hard, but I just.
I have not had an unsportsmanlike player, coach, or team yet. I mean, one guy disagreed. I had the wrong interpretation. He goes, okay, whatever. That's fine.
Hoover week 1 got into a little bit of a pushing contest.
There was a problem there. Yeah. But I blamed that on Sima. So no, I would I defer that to Mike and what those guys want to do. And Bill Bishop is also the one who was kind of the pioneer of the sportsmanship award. But yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so we're gonna ask Bob Hood to step in. Oh, by the way, the golf course, Mike Downing, looked fabulous yesterday. We were there for a Hall of Fame dinner, and it just looked like it was in really great condition. So, and if you're a single, that's kind of a cool thing, because you're gonna get paired up with 3 people you might not know, and now you got 3 new friends. So don't be afraid about being a single. Bob Hood.
Okay, thank you, Steve. I agree with you. The golf course did look very nice. I'm not sure, but I think this year we may get to play North Course. But if we have to play South, Mike, it looks a lot better than it was last year. So I don't know what renovation they've done out there, but we are scheduled for golf. Banquet-wise, it's obviously where it was last year. We're going to start a little bit earlier because we found out that everybody can be there earlier, especially the golfers. So right after Mike finishes his awards, we will go into the cocktail hour starting at approximately 5:30, and then dinner will be approximately 6:45 instead of 7. So it'll just speed that program up. We normally allow you to bring guests. I think that would be fine, but understand that room only holds 200 people, and any additional overage is going to go in what I call the food service and patio area. It's not ideal, but it's where we have to move people to after we reach our 200 max. I'm looking for stories. I talked with most of the classes last meeting, but don't hold back on those stories. You're not like a whistleblower in a government. I'm not going to divulge who told me the story about Coover, but it's a good one. So we're going to enjoy those type of opportunities. So email me stories. If you tell it to me, I'm not going to remember it before you walk away. So email it to me, because it does give me a chance to edit it, quote unquote. Other than that, it'll be a buffet again. We thought the food was good. It is reasonably priced, and Mike didn't indicate, but I think, Mike, you're doing the upgrade on the golf, and there will be food and beverages for those that upgrade on the golf as well, I think. So looking forward to having it. It is November 1st, and all of you have already contributed to the banquet, so there is no charge for you if you decide to come, and we hope you do. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Bob. Okay, we're going to get into the bull, and if you would raise your hand I think what you do is you look somewhere down in your little bar and it says, raise your hand. I don't know where it is. Reactions? Yeah, hand gestures. I don't know what it is. But I'll try to catch any comments, and so you can chime in on some of the content. So right now I am going to share my screen, and okay, so we should have the bull on screen, and this is all the information and all the people who just presented. This is an addition that I just put in at the suggestion of one of the crew chiefs, helping the runner, aiding the runner. This comes right from the point of emphasis this year, and it was in your packet, and it's also on the website. So I know this is a change, and I know you guys don't catch every single thing that comes at you the first time. So I'm glad to be repeating this right now. Changes have been made at a higher level of football, allowing the offensive teams to pile in behind and directly push the runner. Remember, we talked about how the Eagles did that with Jalen Hurts, who's actually a junior Olympic weightlift champion. He's just strong as can be, and then they were very successful, the Eagles, in running that quarterback sneak with him. And we anticipated it becoming more of a problem because it's forbidden in our sport at the high school level, but it's legal at somebody's saying my screen is blurry. Can somebody confirm?
I did. It's good.
It's good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So at the college and the NFL level, it's forbidden to do it. I mean, it's okay to do it. It's okay to push the runner. But at the high school level, they talked about the imbalance that's created when the defense is not prepared for just one play. They have to prepare for a passing attack or a sweep or any kind of fake that could happen. So they can't just pile everybody in opposite the quarterback and gamble that that's the play they're going to run. So it gives an advantage to the offense. So the criteria that we're using now is in the second paragraph, and I'm going to read, because the players on defense must guard against the pass, they are not able to counter the advantages created by helping the runner formations. Allowing teams to help the runner by illegal techniques swings the balance heavily in favor of the offense. Football game officials need to change their view of helping the runner to a risk issue like clipping or chop blocking, and remove it from the pioneer call category, meaning don't ever call it, and refocus on ending plays when forward progress is stopped. Pushing the pile is legal. Direct contact and pushing, pulling, lifting the runner is not. I'll just say that again. Pushing the pile is legal. Direct contact, pushing, pulling, lifting the runner is not. Removing helping a runner from high school football will at times be met with resistance. School administrative support of football game officials, refocus of coaches, and education of players will lead to a smooth transition. So when we see a direct contact and that there is somebody with their hands on the back of the quarterback and they are pushing, that is now a foul, and it is aiding the runner. If that same person is pushing in the gap next to the quarterback or the player next to the quarterback or the pile in general, that is still a legal play. When in question, they're pushing the pile, but be careful. Sometimes the quarterback disappears into the pile and you don't have any problem. They're just pushing the pile. You'll know when you see them pushing the quarterback. Okay, questions? Okay. The coaches know this now, so they've been asking about it. This is a clarification that was also asked about illegal kicking and batting the ball. And one of the things that I like to do is to rewrite the rule book in my own words, not changing the rule, but changing, sort of shrinking the language that's in the rule book. So I wrote, this is a 10-yard penalty, but no loss of down. Again, in the college, I don't know about the NFL, but in the college book, it also carries a loss of down. So illegal kicking, illegal batting of the ball, 10-yard penalty, that's all. It is a spot foul if it occurs behind the end of the run or related runs, even if it's behind the line of scrimmage. It is an exception to the new rule. So if you have an illegal bat or an illegal kick behind the line of scrimmage, that is a spot foul. And if the run or related run ends in advance of that, you're going to go from the spot of the foul, even if it's in the backfield. That is an exception. No player, not layer, player shall intentionally kick the ball, other than free and scrimmage kicks. You may bat a pass. You may bat a fumble and in flight, or a low scrimmage kick in or behind the neutral zone. K may bat toward his own goal line, grounded scrimmage kick beyond the neutral zone, or scrimmage kick in flight beyond the neutral zone with no receiver in position. So that's scrimmage kick only. Okay. No batting a backward pass forward. Otherwise, you can bat a pass in flight. So if you want to have that, add that to your pregame this week, there you go. Summary of illegal batting and illegal kicking. We talked about Scott here. You can put this on your list. One of the mechanics we use and have used traditionally is the clock is hot. Using the term hot around girls flag football is going to get us some attention, unwanted attention, or get us in trouble. So we might want to start talking about the clock is running or wind, something like that.
Steve, can we still use the moms are hot in Pop Warner?
No, and that's inappropriate, and you're being recorded.
Okay. I'm glad I am.
That was Bob Hood for the lawyers that are on this. Okay, freeway lanes reduced. I want to let you know in this morning's paper, the 5 from Old Town down to National City will be reduced to 1 lane starting at 9 o'clock Friday night. So if you have a game in the South Bay and you're driving back north, avoid the 5 because you're going to be waiting to get down to 1 lane. That's going to be that way all the way until Monday morning at 5. Game check weekend we already talked about. Running for the board, contact Robin House by October 1st. So you got just a few days left. We have 4 new board members that will be coming in. Golf tournament, sign up. Homecomings are coming. Remember, we can extend to 20 minutes, and then we add the 3-minute warm-up on top of it. It doesn't have to go to 20 minutes for homecoming, but they can request that. The visiting team must be notified at least 5 minutes prior to the game. Regular season now begins, as Tom Abel said, a lot of intensity. Everything's going to step up in terms of importance and rivalries. So we need to be up on our game. So have a good, thorough pregame. Meet during the week. Be prepared to go because the teams are going to be ready to go. Crowds outside the team box. It's good now that we have a lot of people who are interested and enthusiastic about high school football. They can be on the sideline if the administration allows it. But if for some reason they are misbehaving and we do not want them there, you want to go to the school administration, and it would be your first choice. So one of the things you can do when you get to a game is find out who your game administrators are. So last week in our game, we knew who the principal was, and we finally knew who the AD was right before the kickoff. And we needed both of them in that game. So know who your game administrators are, and if you need help on the sideline with anybody, you can have them removed or whatever. But you don't penalize them. They're not part of the team box. Only people related to the team in the team box are subject to unsportsmanlike behavior fouls. Sportsmanship awards, thank you very much for sending them in. I'll remind you every single week to send me new ones. Here's our usual bands. I forget who it was that penalized the band down at Montgomery. It wasn't Bezirkov, but it was I forget who it was. Anyway, there's some guidelines. Who was it?
Gronk.
Darren Bronk did it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, there is the Darren Bronk rule right here. If we have to penalize it because they are continuing to play in violation of the opportunity of the offense to be able to call plays, then it is a 15-yard penalty and assessed to the head coach. And then these are announcer guidelines from the National Association of Announcers. And that's being put in here mostly for the schools. Okay. All right. Any questions? Did I miss any questions? All right, let's get into some film. And
may want to recommend everybody stop doing their videos so it shows better.
okay, so if everybody, including me, can turn off our faces. And I've maximized, so I hope this comes through. All right, this is an example of a kickoff in a rivalry game. This is Oceanside versus El Camino. And I count 8 players down on this play. Again, we're going to start our vision pattern in the middle of the field where the contact occurs first. There's the first 2 going down right there at the 34-yard line. Okay. Then back up field at the 26. There's another 2 there. At the 30, there's another guy going down. Now he gets double teamed at the 30. And this group right here turns into a potential personal foul. Okay. Some really physical contact in this play. Most of it legal. The only one that I think is this little thing at the 30, which is away from everything else, but he does flip the guy over in a double team and then shove him getting up. But the referee's coming in here. I don't know if he flagged that or passed on it. But let's be ready from the opening kickoff. Okay, guys and gals. All right, this is another thing that we have to be, if we are in some tight games and we're going to go into some onside kicks, this is not an onside kick, anticipated onside kick, because we have the back judge over here on the 40 and then the line judge down here on the 50. We have no other officials in the box. So this is anticipated to be a regular kick. It's Grossmont at Monte Vista. And in this particular case, if you watch this player right here, the key is he attempting to go for the ball, or is he attempting to go for the player? And he goes for the player.
Went for the player, yeah.
Okay, so as a result, we need to have a foul on that for illegal contact. This guy is defenseless. He's trying to recover the ball. His focus is on the ball, and then he gets blown up. We know what that looks like now. So be alert on kicks. Now, again, who's going to get this? Well, if we have 4 in the box, this person right here, which would be the head linesman who has moved up, is going to be looking at the ball and our restraining line. But people who are away are going to be able to look for blocks. Okay, so those are the people that most likely will pick up that foul. This player ended up suffering a concussion and is out. No flag.
Not good.
Okay, so now we spoke at the beginning of the year about how often we prepare for overtime. Every week, who's in charge of overtime? Let's go over the overtime, blah, 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 blah. And we see it like once a year. But every week, we have to close out first half, and we have to close out the game. And those are two incredible things that happen each and every week. And they can become extremely contentious and challenging. So in this particular play, we have the end of the half. This happens to be the end of the half. And here the clock is running and we're well under 1 minute. All right. So I'm going to go in slow motion. There's nothing unusual about this play. They're going to run a double reverse. They're going to go reverse here, inside reverse there. Player gets tripped up, catches his feet, then is tackled. Progress is marked down at the 22. I probably would have given him some more progress than that. But that's what we do. Now, the clock has been running. We're inside a minute, and our official comes in and right away looks to the coach. Now, the coach puts his hand out. Usually when a coach does that, he's indicating to you and to his other people, don't call timeout, because he's looking at the clock and waiting for the clock to click down before he calls timeout. Because in this particular case, I don't know what down it was, but they're going to kick a field goal. So he holds off. I'm assuming, if I'm wrong, the crew can tell me that's wrong, but we do go timeout after this play. Okay? So be alert for your coach, just like this official. Watch your coach. Be ready to kill the clock. Now, once the clock is stopped, and we're getting ready for the next play, even though this was stopped and there was a timeout, but if, for example, that last play had gone out of bounds, help the players, help the coaches, help your own coach. Coach, we're out of bounds. The clock is not running. Calm everybody down if you can. In this particular case, everybody is calm, and we're going to go for a field goal. But at the last second, the clock has, this particular clock at Sweetwater has tenths of a second. Now, I talked to Sweetwater after getting this film and told them to get rid of the tenths. We don't want tenths of a second on the scoreboard. We only deal with whole numbers because that's consistent across all the fields of San Diego. So if you have 0.6 left at Sweetwater and they get to run another play, that's a 0 at Point Loma, and you don't get to run another play. So we're dealing with whole digits, and we ask the timer if they know how to remove the tenths of a second. So Sweetwater was going to do that. So we were at something like 2.6 seconds. And unfortunately, the right end on the defensive side is offside. We blow it dead through our flag for encroachment. And unfortunately, the clock runs. And this is something we have to be aware of and anticipate. It now shows 0.6 seconds. So the referee decides that rather than going over and doing the hand gestures up to the box, we're just going to have one final play. Instead of resetting the clock and all that hassle, look, we were at 2.6 seconds. We're just going to run one play, and that will be it. Okay. So I support that. I think that's fine, personally. So now, unfortunately, now is when we don't get our focus right. So as a crew, we've got different things going on. The flank official was worried about not putting time back on the clock, so he's not at the sideline and not in position to officiate. The umpire is stepping away. He turns around and is now going to be looking back at the back judge. I don't know if I don't think he's signaling, he's got 11 to the back judge. I think he might be doing that for the referee, but he's turned around and I think somebody in the back was saying, why didn't we reset the clock or something? They were fixated on the clock. Meanwhile, he has told the center to hold up, but this holder is beginning to call cadence. So now what happened is, let me go through that again. What happened is defense jumped. The umpire is still looking back at the goalpost. The referee blows a whistle, a ready for play, because he had not blown the ready for play yet. So we have him in the neutral zone. The referee then blows the whistle, and the defense stands up like they think he's stopped the play. So now, first thing that happens, defensive end, neutral zone. Second, referee blows ready for play. 3, the defense freezes. So nothing good is happening here, and that's not the way we want to end a half. All right? So let's think about this and be ready for the end of each half with our best and most accurate work. Okay, KCI or not? Somebody reminded me it was Mark Cozina at Montgomery. That's correct. It was not Darren Brock, Mark Cozina. There's the signal. There's the contact. All right, so I'm going to play it in real time. And at this time, I want you to watch the blue player coming in to make contact. Watch him. Does he hold up? No, not really. Okay, now I'm going to back it up, and I want you to watch the forcefulness or lack thereof by watching the player in red, the receiver. So this is an interesting play because I do believe it depends on who you're focused on how you judge this. If you're looking at the receiver and you see that he's just contacted at the thighs and that nothing really happens, then you're not going to judge that to be a forceful contact. But if you watch the actual action of the blue player and see what he does and attempts to do, it's a foul. So, interesting play. Okay, please be careful on these rollover plays. Almost every time a body part other than a hand or foot touches the ground. Remember, an ankle is not the foot. Ankle is down. A forearm is down, right? That's not the hand. So anything other than the hand itself or the bottom of the foot. And this is what kind of can happen. The knee kind of slides over. Does the shin or knee touch the ground? Just be very, very careful of these things, okay? And I don't know what happened at the end of this play, but he let it go, okay? So he's going to give him progress. So he comes up here, and then this coach is saying something down here at the bottom, and now we have a flag. I don't know what happened there. I didn't get the story. So if somebody has the story, raise your hand or butt in and let me know what happened right there. Because personally, I think we're better off with him being down back there. We'll see. Okay. All right, this is just another example of when in question, the ball is out. So just work your axioms, your philosophies. Ball is out, already out, down at the feet. Ball is out, down at the feet, right there. Okay, so we don't want to do, let's be careful with these. Okay, a couple OPIs. This comes from Northern California. This is in San Diego. They asked me the question, is this OPI? I think so. I think so. He runs into the guy that's got man coverage, and then he goes down and blocks.
Yeah, that's a
the guy.
pick.
That's a pick. Okay. So this is one from our game last week. And doesn't have to be in the red zone. Run the wheel route. Okay. Saw the guy running a slant, and I thought, oh, he's running a slant. And then he hits the guy, and then I go, oh shoot, here comes a wheel route. Look how the receiver waits. Look how the actual slot staggers. He's waiting. Now. There he goes.
Stutter stepped, yeah.
Really well done. Coach was adamant that I missed it. Okay. What do we have here? Oh, this is good. Remember our mechanics now. This is almost simultaneous with this catch. Remember, the blocking has to be done downfield prior to a catch, right? After a catch, anybody can block. Even if the catch is downfield, people can block after you catch the pass. So this block has to be before he catches the ball. So, well, actually, I take that back. I see the ball still up here. So he definitely does make contact before. So that's a good flag. So now why is he going to throw his flag? Because he doesn't know where this is relative to the line of scrimmage, which was the, what, 28 yard line? Okay. And he catches it on the 30. So we're good to go. But this crew does a great mechanic. He's punched forward down here. There goes the flag. Now he's going to run over to the flank, I hope. And the flank is going to tell him the ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage. And we're going to pick it up and wave it off. Okay. Back to rivalry. El Camino and Oceanside. Okay, so this is the philosophy. He's now outside of the pocket, beyond the lateral boundaries of the free blocking zone, and we have a blocking downfield, and he's going to throw the ball away out here. So our philosophy is we're not going to have OPI when the ball is being thrown away. He's throwing it away, we're going to the next down, okay? Same thing as if we had an ineligible downfield over here, and he throws it out of bounds. We're not going to have IDP. Okay, this is a good example of illegal contact. This happens to be to a defenseless receiver. Well done. Okay. Well done. See it again. Focuses on the ball. He doesn't make a play on the ball, doesn't lead with his hands, and he's not performing a wrap-up tackle. It's a foul. Okay, I've got two of these. These are, and referees, this is why you get the big bucks. I think Matt Starr's gotten you $1 extra for this. So the referee it does not see the ball being thrown in this particular play, nor does he see it in the next play. Both these plays, the referee cannot tell whether it is a pass or fumble. And in both cases, the referee will then default to it's a fumble. Okay. Okay. So out comes the beanbag. And if we go back and look at it carefully, the crew comes in and talks to him and because they could see that he actually threw it straight into the ground. Now we do have a foul, and they did in fact enforce intentional grounding from the end of the run. So the end of the run is, again, illegal pass is an exception to the previous spot rule this year. So he throws that from the 3.5, 4-yard line. So we're going to go to the 2-yard line, inside the 2-yard line, and loss it down. Okay, similar play. Look at number 55, the right tackle. He's going to grab and release. Okay, that is not holding. He is going to grab the right tackle, 55, grabs at the shoulders and releases. Okay, not holding. Here he comes. Goes to strike over the right shoulder and create a fumble, but the quarterback places the ball in his left hand and throws it. Okay, so from the back side of this play, and I can tell you that because I was up here at the head linesman's position, the bodies were covering what the ball, this little flicking motion. Didn't see it, just saw the ball coming out. Could have been his arm was hit. All of a sudden the ball's out. Line judge on this side, David Collins, sees this exactly, it's coming right at him. He waits, lets the play go, just in case. And we're going to go for a touchdown. But he's going to come back, and I won't bother you with all that. But he's going to come back and talk to our referee and tell him that was an incomplete pass and there was no eligible receiver in the area. This guy doesn't count because if you look at the quarterback, his eyes and what he is throwing at, it's nowhere near that guy. He's just trying to throw it out into this area. Had he thrown it over into this area somewhere, then we could have gone with, and we had an eligible receiver in the area. He was outside the pocket or the lateral boundaries of the free blocking zone, and he threw it near, would have thrown it near this eligible player, which no matter what, it would have been a legal, at least incomplete pass. But in this particular case, it's intentional grounding, and that's how we ruled it. It's amazing, referees, what you guys have to do. Okay, we're used to looking at chop blocks between guards, centers, and tackles. Watch the running back. Anytime you see a running back going up to the line of scrimmage, that's what can happen. Now, this particular contact looks like it's at the midsection. If you watch his feet, if it's low, the feet will go up. If it's midsection, it'll just kind of stymie him. It'll just kind of neutralize him. And in this case, it just kind of neutralizes him. It doesn't flip him up. So I would suggest that this is more in the midsection and would not be a chop block foul. But be careful and be aware of that. Okay, this is, umpires, you guys, you're the salt of the earth, man. In this particular case, he sees the contest going on right here. He stays with it. Catches the guy throwing him to the ground, and we're going to go from there. Holding, Paul. Could go personal foul. He got 2 fouls there. Oh, too bad. So sad.
Give them the business.
Good job. An example of how tight these plays can be now. This is an incomplete pass. Okay. They didn't get it right away, but they did eventually. Best to go incomplete pass as opposed to turnover. The other thing that you need to know is what the nature of the hit, the contact. Was it in the head and neck area? Did he strike upward? Can't tell from this video. But if he did, that would be a foul. Incomplete pass plus a foul. I don't know if he did. How about this one? He's going to lift that guy. Is that a foul?
Yeah.
Not a foul.
Not a
Legal.
problem.
You may not position yourself. You may not position yourself on the shoulders or body of a teammate or opponent to gain an advantage. He is not positioning himself. He's jumping in the air and the other guy's picking him up. See it all. Unbelievable. All right. Seems like wherever we stand, we're in harm's way, right, umpires? This is not pretty. Our beloved Jim Wrightson. Ooh. He's
Oh,
okay. I believe he's okay. But he wasn't
good.
happy. Huh?
I'm good.
But you weren't happy, were you?
No.
Jim is such a good-natured young man. He always has the smile on his face, a can-do attitude. But after that hit, that is not what Jim was like.
I'll see you that hit and raise you a broken rib.
Wow.
throw a flag on him for hitting him.
All right. Well, we'll just put that on a loop at the banquet and enjoy that multiple times. All right. It's 8:07. 184. You got people were on here tonight. Appreciate it. We couldn't get it to Mira Mesa. I chose not to break up this every other week scheduling so that we would it would stay consistent for the season. I hope this worked well. If it did, let a board member know so that when I'm planning next year, I'll do it again the same way. We'll see everybody October 11th, 2 weeks from tonight. And that will be our last meeting, maybe. No, we have 2 meetings and then the banquet. So let's finish strong. Thank you so much. Good night now.
Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Steve?
Yes, Junior.
This is Junior. Let the guys know that the celebration of life has been postponed, probably till next year, till I get back on my feet again. So
What's been postponed?
my celebration of life.
Oh, your celebration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do me a favor on that. I appreciate that.
You can still dance like that.
Well, yeah, but I can't call a timeout with one wing.
You
know.
need both. You need both wings for the chicken dance, huh?
There you go. You got it, brother.
All right. All right. Thanks,
Hey,
everybody.
thanks, Steve.
Get your evaluations done.
Will do. Will do.